So I think we just answered this question about the minimum
Right.
baseline to be
There is,
considered.
there's no minimum.
Yeah. But you want to be in the game and do this or this so that you are more realistic in your
Yeah,
expectations.
and 1430 would be 26 percentile. So that's a low game.
Got it. So you want to be in 1500s
That's
if
right.
you're in the game,
In the
and you
middle,
want to
middle.
be, yeah, and then in the 34 to get into
I think
the,
so. 33, 34.
and that's what gives you into the 50th percentile. And if you want to be in the 75th percentile, I think it's like 1560.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
this,
Those are
this is
almost
just,
perfect scores, which is crazy. If you look at some schools too, I mean, there's not even like for an MIT or a Caltech, I think it's for the math. I just looked at it recently. There's almost not even a top 25% because it just goes to 800 because people who are
can we
applying.
just look it up just for fun?
I mean, I was looking at it recently and on one of my, I think my platform, which highlights, it has a yellow for the middle and then green for the top 25%. And there didn't even seem to be green in the
Oh,
top.
wow. So acceptance rate.
75th percentile was 35.
I see.
Basically, there's no room for error. You have to be perfect. Yep, SAT score. Oh no, I think this is an yeah, 34, and then 1540.
But the average, so the average is, and again, that's the math brains of your students know the difference between average and medium. They're different.
Oh yeah, I would rather just go to that to their website themselves rather than, I think we went to some promotional website. Holistic admissions, of course, they're talking about that, and percentage admitted. What does that number mean? 6.7.
So of all the applications that came in for this year, the first year freshmen, they accepted, they admitted
6.7%.
6.7% of them.
Is that a high number or is that?
That's very low.
Got
I mean, that means only 6%. So let's reverse that. So that means about 93% of all the students who applied were not offered a spot. And 93% of the people who applied, the majority of them were qualified.
These are qualified people with good scores. And yeah, SAT math is showing 790. I don't even know how to.
That's the middle 50%. So what that's saying is, remember where I just told you that the middle 50%. So if you add math, add 790 and 730, you're going to get what is that, a
1520.
1520. So remember when I said it was 1430? For MIT, it's 1520.
Yeah.
And 1600 versus the 1560. That's the difference. So their range goes from the 1520 to 1580.
Yeah.
So that, and the range there is going to be 35 to 36 versus the 32. So it's a much narrower, and that's really what happens when you get into schools. Some of them that are more competitive will have a narrower range, and some that have maybe, and we're still talking competitive, 20%, acceptance is still highly competitive. Anything under 25% is still considered some of the most highly competitive schools out there. So their range might be bigger. So they're looking at different things. It's just not the same. But when you're looking at these, this is the importance. I think what's important is just prep to do what you need to do for your test, and also to be reflective and to look at schools holistically and find the right fit in a balanced list.